I'm James, CEO of Classic Sportscar Centre. We've been supplying classic cars globally now for 34 years, and we're delighted to be here at Goodwood Festival of Speed exhibiting some of our stock. We have a very special guest joining us today, Nigel Mansell.
That was my car, little minivan. He's giving me this one.
Well, I can always lend you one when you're in the UK. I'm quite happy with that.
That's a possibility.
This is like one of my favourites. I mean, it's
nice
pure
one.
quality.
Yeah. So who does all the bodywork?
So we do our own. We do full restoration at our facility in Yorkshire as well as car sales.
Yeah.
We've got body shop, workshop, trim shop, so about 40 staff in total. We're delighted to have an absolute legend with us this morning, Nigel Mansell, former F1 world champion.
Yeah.
Now we have some of our guests here would like to ask some questions, but we've obviously had a chat around the stand, looked at some of our classic cars that we have here at Classic Sportscar Centre, and I'd just like to ask which one is your favourite, and which would you take home?
The one that you're going to give me later. I like the Vantage, but I like the Merc as well. But you know, I've got to go with the Esprit because it brings back so many memories with the late great Colin Chapman when I signed the contract with him to drive.
Yeah.
He gave me that as a road car straight away, and then the next day I got done for doing 90 in the 30, so it brings back great memories.
Well, I'll be honest, we only got the Lotus last week and I ended up picking it up early to get it here in time so you could see
lovely.
it. I thought it fits.
Well, thank you, it's a wonderful memory.
When you mentioned Colin Chapman, one thing always jumps to my mind was when you were late for a meeting and you learned the lesson.
Yeah, I mean, I used to work for Colin as an engineer. Wasn't a driver for him straight away, he employed me as an engineer, and had a Ford 1600 old clapped out Ford to go around the country to visit factories to see if they had the experience and quality control to build parts for a Formula One car. That was my job. And anyway, I had a meeting with Colin one day, and I left home like 5 in the morning, or it might have even been 4. And it was foggy and a few people died on the motorway and the motorway was closed and I got delayed an hour and a half, 2 hours, and I arrived at Hethel and I think I was, I'm not going to even exaggerate, I was 30 seconds to a minute late walking into his office and he almost fired me for being late. So he tore a strip off me and he didn't care that people were injured or killed on the way. You're never late for Colin, which, okay. So it was a few weeks later, I had another meeting with Colin and I thought, well, I'm not going to be late, and we couldn't afford a bed and breakfast, so I had a shave the night before and I slept in the car the night before in the car park outside his office. And Colin turned up in the morning and got out of the car, and I saw him as I got out of the car and he looked at me sideways like this, and I probably hadn't combed my hair by then. And walked into the office and had a good chat with him, and he said to me, oh, okay, great, you're here early. Where'd you stay last night? I was very reticent to say anything. I said, oh, just local. He said, no, where did you stay last night? I said, well, actually, I stayed in the car, sir. So why the hell did you do that? I said, well, I'm not complaining. I don't have enough money to be able to stay in a bed and breakfast, and I wasn't going to be late for you, was I? And he laughed at that, and we got on. He was like a father to me, so he taught me some very important lessons.
When we were just walking around the cars and we were talking about classic cars, and I was saying that whilst we have our own restoration facilities and every car we sell we prepare and we warrant them, but they still go wrong because they're old cars. Occasionally things go wrong, and we mentioned your dad's old Rover Coupe, and it'd be lovely if you could share that story because it's one that I certainly enjoyed.
I was only just barely 17, and I was courting my dear lady wife, who I'm still married to after being together 55 years. I mean, 50 years of marriage was a few months ago, which is great, and I'm still 28. Anyway, I persuaded my dad to let me borrow his 3.5 Rover Coupe, and that sounds glamorous, but I got to tell you the real story. He brought it after the car was retired as a chauffeur's car with 120,000 miles on it. So it'd seen a lot of service, but it was still in mint condition. It's just done a lot of life. Anyway, he let me borrow it and we went out to, it was Lapworth, we went to Lapworth pub, Navigation Inn. I came out in the car park, time to go home, and it had a button in the middle of the gear change to push down, depress and go here and pull up and do that. Well, as I did it, the whole gear lever came off in my hands with a chain about like that with various levers, and my good lady Roseanne and myself at the time, we couldn't help but laugh. You know, I mean, this is candid camera stuff. You know, someone's filming this. So we got my mechanic friend who was in there, and I said, "Will you come and help me attach this?" And we did it under the car, and it was raining as well. Then it was. And we sort of coupled it up, but the problem was where first gear was reverse, and where the gearbox was all jumbled up. Anyway, I managed to creep away and start going down the road, and we're doing about 50 miles an hour, and then halfway back home, as I'm going to drop my dear lady off, starts to rain, so they had a toggle switch on the dashboard, so I put the toggle switch on the windscreen wipers. After about the third one of these, the wiper went straight off the screen, and so then the screen was being scratched by so I had to stop the car and bend the thing away, and I had to change the wiper from Roseanne's side to my side so I could see what was going. And so I drop her off, I get home, and it's late, and I'm thinking, my dad's going to kill me. So I parked the car really nicely in front of the garage, and I put it where reverse is, and I get up early the next morning to go because my dad was quite ferocious, and it was a real big mistake because when my dad got up, he got in the car, and what does he do? He puts it into neutral, revs it up, puts it into first, puts his foot down and goes straight through the garage backwards. So I come home that night, my mum comes, "What did you do last night?" And of course, innocently, I was thinking, I didn't do anything to her. I didn't touch it. We were caught it. "No, your dad's car." "Oh no, what happened?" "He never let me borrow a car ever again." But it's a true funny story.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, well, we're shortly going to have some questions from our guests.
Yep.
But before that, I just wanted to say that, you know, growing up in the 80s, early 90s, F1 was Nigel Mansell to me. And I think, you know, looking back now, at the time, I just didn't realise what you really went through in terms of, you know, breaking your back, neck, broken foot throughout a championship season.
I can agree with that, yeah.
Unbelievable. But then also, you know, the heartache of Adelaide when you were so close to the championship, and you have a blowout to then the next year in Japan with the crash. So by 1992, when you won the championship, I mean, you must look back and be so proud. But how did it feel after such a career of I won't say battles,
well,
but
after all that knowledge there, you need a psychiatrist, don't you, really, to get over it?
Well, but as a kid, I didn't pick it up.
It's the ups and downs, which
Yeah.
the ebbs and flows, and yeah, I mean, '86 was so close, and you know, to radio the pits and say, "I'm coming in for tyres," and they say, "No, stay out. Your tyres are fine." You know, and we were just counting down the laps. I think there's only 18 laps to go, and you'd be world champion, and then the tyre explodes, and yeah, it's a tough one.
But you must have felt when you won it in '92, was it almost because you deserved it? Was it relief? You know, how did it feel?
I think the thing is, which is sad, in 1986 when the tyre blew, and it blew at over 200 miles an hour, you know, you need to read the rule book, because what I should have done is not controlled the car like I did. I should have smashed it into the concrete wall, broke arm, broken leg or something or whatever, stayed on the track, they red flagged it, and then I'd have been world champion from the lap before. But yeah, it was a tough one. But then obviously '87 was a really bad smash in Japan, which is not happy memories because I was in intensive care over there for quite some time because I pulled 87G up the spine. So my back got broke pretty bad at the bottom, all the lumbar spine got like this, and I couldn't breathe real well. And then I watched a couple of people die in ICU next to me. So after two died on the one night, I figured it comes in three, so I'm the next one to go. It was a pretty tough time. But yeah, getting through all the way, racing through to '92 and win the championship.
Amazing.
At last.
Yeah, amazing.
Because so many people came up to me and said, "Well, you might as well retire now, you'll never win the championship." All the do-gooders, you know. Well, thanks for the motivation, thank you.
So we'll go to our first question. So we have Alfie Smith.
During your F1 career, you were lucky enough to work with the likes of Colin Chapman and Frank Williams. Who was the best team principal you ever worked with?
Colin Chapman by far. He was just incredible, and he ended up being like a father to me as well. He encouraged, he was very honest, he was very strong with what he believed in. His ethics were brilliant, and he created the ground effect car as well. He was such a clever man. But the relationship I had with him was very special. I didn't have a relationship with anybody else other than Colin like that.
So next we have Jan Travalian.
Hi, how you doing? If you were not a Formula One driver and you had to choose a classic car to race, which classic car would you choose?
No, it wouldn't be a really E-Type, because I raced one of them, if you remember.
Yeah.
I raced an E-Type at Donington and Silverstone, and I put it on pole just at Silverstone, and then went into, I think it was Copse Corner, and the brake pedal went straight down to the floor, and I went straight on, had a massive shunt in it, frightened me to death. So which classic car? One that the brakes worked.
Next we've got Alex Smith.
Hello, Nigel. 2026, there's a lot of rule changes coming into Formula One. Which of the current teams do you think is best sorted to deal with those?
It used to be a $6 million question. It's a $12 million question now, and a wonderful question to boot. I quote Max Verstappen of last week. Until you turn up on the grid in Australia, I don't think anybody really realises who's in the best position. However, I will give you this insight. I don't think there's any question the Mercedes power unit is probably going to be the best power unit. Everyone's saying that they've got it sorted already. I'm not sure how close Ferrari are, but the best team out there by far at the moment, and got quite a few tricks in their pocket, is McLaren. So I'd be very surprised, and they're going to have the Mercedes power units as well. So I'd be very surprised if they're not the strongest team next year.
Mole, over to you.
From the current F1 grid lineup, who would be your dream teammate and who would be your nightmare?
My dream teammate? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know whether one really exists, but I have to say my best teammate I ever had in Formula One, and I was partners with 4 different world champions in Formula One, was Riccardo Patrese. He was fantastic. I have to say, out of all the world champions, Keke Rosberg was brilliant. He was a man's man. But Riccardo was fantastic. Once he realised I had the upper hand, we became incredible teammates, and he just said I was crazy, so yeah. It made up for the time that he couldn't make up.
So we've got Marty Williams next.
Since your retirement, what elements of the racing circuit do you miss? And more importantly, what do you not miss?
First of all, I'm not retired yet. I'm still waiting to be offered a drive, but no, it's. I think the biggest, easiest thing you can say is the adrenaline rush. You miss the adrenaline rush. I mean, you're driving around anywhere with your hair on fire, and you know what it's like. Even driving these things, you don't have to be going that quick and your hair's on fire because you're wondering whether the wheel's going to stay on, or the brakes work, or the steering works. I mean, a Formula 2 car had the steering wheel come off in a Formula 2 car at 180 miles an hour. That didn't make much fun either. So I miss the adrenaline rush. I get that a little bit from golf when I'm trying to win a tournament or something. But I think the biggest thing you miss is just the competition, trying to be the best in the world at something. But times have moved on such now that someone said to me the other day that the current new drivers coming into Formula One, how much money they've had spent on them to get there.
Yeah.
Like Lando Norris, 98 million. I got to Formula One on $2,000, £2,000. So it's a bit of a shock. I'm one of the last dinosaurs, I think.
So Jonathan Owen.
Hi Nigel. Of back-to-back champions here and in the US, would either car perform well in the other series?
two ways of answering that. They're two different breeds. The grand stallion of auto racing in the world is Formula One because it's a lot lighter. And when you go into a corner in a Formula One car, if you get it quite a little bit wrong, it's light enough and it's like a dancing stallion. You can have another go and another go. And it's up to how brave and how strong you are to get it around the corner. With an Indy Car, it's a lot heavier. So when you turn into the apex of the corner, you get one chance to get it right because the extra weight of it will wash it out. So positioning of an Indy Car is probably far more important than it is than a Formula One car. Both cars are great. Formula One I prefer. Indy Car is insane on super speedways. The fastest ever qualifying lap I've done is 233.72 miles an hour, average.
Which circuit was that?
That was the Michigan 500, and I won it. But the thing was, I didn't enjoy it. I mean, if something goes wrong, you're dead. In a Formula One car, the fastest ever lap was, you know, upwards of 150 miles an hour. So a big difference. You're averaging 233.72, flat out around four corners.
Crazy.
It's nuts.
Crazy. So we're a couple of people who are asking questions haven't made it in time. So just one more thing from me. I'd like just to ask about your time at Ferrari and when you had the factory visit and your influence on the Testarossa.
Ferrari is a magical team for me for several reasons, really. The first visit I went there, they'd already fired the team manager. So I met this person, had no idea who he was, and I thought he was the janitor showing me around, and it ended up being the new team manager. Anyway, when we were walking around, I just said, oh, there was like Valentino Rossi's MotoGP bike in the corner. Oh, what a beautiful bike. Oh, I said, walked straight past it, didn't dwell. 2 weeks later, a brand new bike arrived at my home for free.
Wow.
That was really good. And then a few weeks later, I was testing at Maranello, and then they were doing new suspension for the Testarossa, and I said, oh, would I mind giving it a couple of laps and giving some input to it as an engineer? And I said, look, it's a bit too pointy. People will spin it on the roads. You need to introduce a little bit of understeer because if you turn it too quick, it'll just go and then the back will spin. I said, fantastic car. 2 weeks later, brand new Testarossa arrived at my home. You know, there you go. So then it was about a month later, we were testing at Maranello again, and we were late going down to Estoril, and Mr. Agnelli at the time, I think he owned something like 6 Falcon 900s, $33 million each. And they said, oh, we'll take you down in one of the Falcons. You're a jet pilot, do you want to fly it? I said, yeah, great. When I got off that plane at Lisbon, I said to the captain, I said, please tell Mr. Agnelli, this is beautiful, this is fantastic. I'm still waiting for the plane. It's not, there's a limit to the generosity. I guess 33 million was too much to expect.
Brilliant. Well, so we just have actually one final question from one of our members of the team, Adam Bates.
Good morning. So you've been fortunate to race against some incredible drivers over the years. However, you haven't challenged Classic and Sports Cars senior technician Adam Bates. Are you willing to have a go?
Let's have a look. Who's going to say go?
So we'll count down then.
Okay.
So 3, 2, 1, go.
Oh, he nudged me.
Oh, the clap.
Brilliant. It's a draw. It's a draw. As an official FAA steward, he had me off.
Well, thank you so much. We're really honoured. Thank you very much.
That's right. It's good then, isn't it? Eh? Thank you. Thank you, everybody. I hope you really enjoy the rest of the weekend.
Thank you.
And don't forget, can you prepare my car for me? I'll pick it up on Sunday evening.
No problem.